Welcome to the Week 1 recording for audio engineering. And you can see that Week 1 goes from April 1st to April 7th. Now something about the dates that I choose, April 1st obviously is Monday, and the 7th is the following Sunday. And I like viewing the whole week because it makes you feel like you have a lot more time to do the work. However, the drawback to that is that some students wait until the 6th or the 7th, like the Saturday and Sunday. I'd obviously prefer that you turn in your work by April 5th, turn it in by the Friday, and then you won't have anything to worry about for the weekend. So kind of keep that in mind, but again, the weeks I will have them spread out from the Monday to the next Sunday. Now taking a look at the work for this week, you can see that I try to break the work down into a couple of different days, and it's easy for this first week and maybe for the second week. The third week, when we get into the content, then I don't really have a lot of choices on how that is designed. But for now, for this week, you can see you'll do a few things on Tuesday and then a few things on Thursday. And this week, all the work is worth about 70 to 80 points, so it's real easy work to get that done. And we'll go over the work a little bit later. The welcome to class and getting started, similar to what we just looked at, so you can kind of look at some of the things that I expect of you this week. I also have what's called index of lesson recordings. So I'll have all the weekly lesson recordings posted here so you can easily get to those. And then finally, something for you to check out is how to be successful in online school. It's an 8-minute video I put together, and I think it could really help you not only in this class but in other classes that you have. So it's really not specific to certain classes. And what I'd like to do is go through everything on the left-hand side over here, so you'll be comfortable with how the class operates, what the expectations are, and things like that. And then we'll look at the assignments that you're required to do for this week number 1. So taking a look at the course syllabus. Of course, the syllabus, just like anything most teachers have, the contact information up here at the top. For my picture, I need to get fixed so it shows up in there. But you can see that you can call me Mr. H if you choose to, and I've had most of you in class already, so you know a little bit about me already, but I've taught online since 2001. I've also been an online student. I earned my master's degree all online and part of my principal licensure program online. I've been a teacher in a regular school quite a bit too for about 8 years. I also was a basketball and track coach and business and social studies teacher. I currently live in Grand Junction. So scrolling down, you can see the course description. You're going to learn a lot about sounds in our everyday lives and also sound and music. And here are 6 of the key areas that you'll look at. So you're going to learn to not only understand what sound is, but also how to manipulate sound by doing some audio recordings and do some mixing and things like that. So it should be a really fun class for you. Grading information. I don't have everything set up on the grading that I want to do, but the grading will be based on 1,000 points. And I like doing that because you can easily figure out your percentage. So example, if you had, you can see right here, 795 points at the end, well, 795 is 79.5% of 1,000. Or as we come to the end and you have 892 points, well, 892 would be 89.2%. So it's really easy to figure percent out when everything's based on 1,000. I have this weekly class connects written in here because I think it's an important thing that most teachers don't use these, and students don't really understand what they are, but it's a great way to help you in the class. So what I do with my Class Connect write-ups is each week you'll have a set of 10 questions that you will answer based on the lesson recording for that week. And that introduces you to the topic for the week, and it gives you a good way to get some easy points. So these write-ups, you should get 100% on these every time, because in the recordings I show you and tell you the exact answers. But you'll see how to do these a little bit later in this recording as we work through these. But the thing about these write-ups is when you turn them in, it's just text in the Dropbox. It's not an attachment, and I'll show you that process in a little bit. So that's the syllabus. There's also something called the Quiz Study Guide. You're welcome to use this for quizzes, but we have something else that'll really help you on the quizzes. You can see that they just talk about some of the vocabulary in each of the units for each of the quizzes. Use those if you want to. Okay, to get started, you've looked at something like this already, right? So this is what I expect of you for this week to get started. Of course, you're watching the Getting Started video, but this is where it will be posted. The Getting Started write-up, we'll come back to that in a little bit. The Getting Started write-up, this is essentially what I consider the Class Connect write-up for this week. And I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. One of the other assignments for this week is Introduce Yourself discussion. Now in this, what you'll do, you'll see that there are 6 questions. And on this, you'll put in your own entries, but also feel free to reply to classmates. Keep everything, appropriate for school, obviously, the topics and the language and all that. The way you do this, like if you want to reply to these 6 questions, which everyone will do, you just hit the word respond. Then you can type in your name. I am John Lerner. And then down here you would answer all the questions. I'll hit cancel on that. So that's right here, this respond, you respond directly to the questions. Down here, look at a person's entry, and once you look at a person's entry, then to respond to them, you hit the respond right under their name. So you can see right here, I answered these in complete sentences, so I expect you to answer them in complete sentences too. Don't just put down Bob Jones, Centennial, Colorado. I mean, answer the questions fully, just like this, please. Just makes it easier for people to read what you're talking about and know what you're talking about. So you can see that we already have one student who has made a reply. She was up at 5:47 a.m. Wow. So that's the Introduce Yourself discussion that you'll do. And my learning plan. My learning plan is another assignment that gets you off to a good start. And my learning plan is worth 50 points. That's 5% of your grade, because 50 points is 5% of 1,000. And on this, there are no right or wrong answers, but you'll be graded on the completeness of your answers. So the way you do this, I'm going to go right over these directions. You're going to copy and paste everything into a word processor. So you would highlight all of this, then right-click Copy, then go to Word Processor and Paste. Just like the directions say right here. So you paste into Word Processor. Then you go to answer them. Now what I suggest, like this will be in a word processor, and let's say you're going to do this course as is scheduled, then in your word processor just delete those 2 sentences right there. On number 2 right here, just delete those 2 if 7 or more is your answer. So delete the ones that are not your answer. Number 3, same thing. If you want an A for sure, then delete those right in the word processor. And that gives you your answer, doesn't it? Now when you get down to numbers 4 and 6 and 7, you have to write your own stuff in. So on number 4, I want 3 or 4 specific things you would do to earn the grade you want. And don't just put go to class, because going to class, that doesn't mean anything. That's not proof of that you're doing anything. Some examples might be, I will work on this course on Mondays and Wednesdays from 11 until 1. That is something specific. Or I will have my parents check my work before I submit it. That's specific. Or I will make sure all my work is turned in by Friday of each week. That's specific. So I'm asked for 3 or 4 specific things. I just gave you some examples. Please don't use all 3 of those examples. Come up with some things of your own, please. I want specific things. Number 6, what are some things to do if you do not understand an assignment? Well, probably one of the best things to do is reread the assignment, right? Read it again. Or you could have somebody else read it and maybe explain it to you. Or you could try to explain it to somebody else, see if you're getting the right idea. You can also go back and watch the lesson recording, because I talk about the assignments in the lesson recording. That'll help you. You can email Mr. H. Certainly that could help you. So there's some things to do if you don't understand an assignment. Finally, number 7, background knowledge, skills, or interests. That's going to be up to you. So anyway, you'll have all those things answered in a word processing file. When you're finished, you're going to save the file And I copied this from the web page class. So I'm going to change that while we're right here. This should be audio engineering. So you'll save this word processor file with this exact name, Audio Engineering, My Learning Plan. So you'll save that word processor file with that exact name. You'll get 10 points off if you do not use the right file names. I tell you the exact name right here, so use that, please. Then you submit it as an attached file in the Dropbox. So the learning plan is an attached file in the Dropbox. This is the exact name that you will call the learning plan. It's very simple. So that's going to be an attached file. Okay, Class Connects. Most teachers do Class Connects differently from what I do. Most teachers use them as a way to go over the lesson with you. I pre-record the lessons. So like for next week's work, I'll pre-record the lessons probably this Wednesday or Thursday, and then they'll be available for you to go in and read them or watch the recording before the next week. So I pre-record the lessons, so then in the Class Connects, those are work sessions rather than learning session, or I guess rather than lecture sessions. The Class Connects are work sessions. So what you do is you come into the Class Connect and you work on audio engineering class. You stay logged in. So you might log in and you don't need any help from me. So you might say, Mr. H, I'm doing fine, I have no questions. But then you stay signed in and you get work done in this class. Other students might come in and need help, so I would explain an assignment or something like that. But the point is, when you go to the Class Connect from 9 to 10 on Mondays, you log in at 9 o'clock and you stay in there. Everyone's expected to check in on Mondays, and you work in this class from 9 to 10. I don't care what assignments you work on, but you work on this class from 9 to 10. And then I'm there to answer questions if you have any. So again, the Class Connects are not lecture. They're not to go over discuss the lesson. They're to answer questions and to help you get work done. That's how I use Class Connects. A course schedule, it'll be posted in the doc sharing area for your use anytime. Grading information, looked at this a little bit again. 1,000-point scale, so you can see the grading breakdown. And down here, this is going to change a little bit. All these assignments, I don't have them all categorized yet. But as far as the percentage of points for each category of assignments, that's going to change slightly, but nothing will change. It will be based on 1,000 points, the class will. Communication is really important in an online environment because we don't get to see each other face to face ever. So the best way to find out what's going on in the class is look at the announcements. In the announcements, obviously I put in the work for the week and links to videos and things like that. But also in the announcements is where I will address class-wide issues. For instance, maybe it's assignment number 3, and I've had 3 or 4 students say, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to turn this in, what type of file to use. Well, then I put in the announcements something that says, assignment number 3, how to turn it in. So go to the announcements first whenever you have a question that's like a class-wide issue. That's the best way to stay up on what's going on in the class. K-mails, that's the best way to get in touch with me individually. And in the K-mails, you need to do things specific here so that the communications works out right. And you may know that when you send K-mails to teachers, we have no idea what class you are in, especially at the beginning of the block. You know, I have 150 new students. I don't remember where they are. So what you need to do in K-mail, I had an error on this one too. I need to fix that. So this is going to be audio engineering. So in K-mail, you always put you're in, as well as so always put the course name you're in, as well as the topic of your email. Like here's an example. If you're having trouble with something called portfolio project, if that was part of this class, then this would be what you would put in the subject line of the K-mail. That way I would know what class you're talking about and what assignment. And then in the body of the email, you'd put, you know, I've looked at the portfolio project. I think it says this, but I'm not sure. Mr. H, can you tell me exactly what I'm supposed to do? then that gets specific and I can really help you. Now, the other thing about Kmail, if the topic is new, then please just write a new Kmail. Don't just reply to an old one. Now, the example here might be like I sent out the Kmail that said week 1 work, and I bet this week I'll get some student replying back to me, not changing the subject line and saying, hey, Mr. H, I'm going to be gone from April 29th to May 4th or something like that. But they haven't changed the subject of the Kmail line, so they're not being specific on what they need. So whenever you do a new topic, just write a new Kmail or change the subject line, either one. And finally, when you send a Kmail, be specific. Tell me exactly what the problem is, what the issue is, what you need, because then I might be able to answer you back with just one Kmail without us having to go back and forth, back and forth. So be specific on your needs in the body of the Kmail. Phone calls, more than willing to talk to you on the phone. There's my cell number. But please don't just call me out of the blue. I might be busy with another student. I might be in a Class Connect session, all kinds of things. It's much easier if we set up ahead of time a schedule of when we want to talk. So you could shoot me a Kmail and say, Mr. H, I'd like to talk on the phone. When would be a good day and time? I'll write back and say, how about Wednesday between 1 and 2? You tell me when you want to talk. Then you Kmail me back and you tell me. Very easy to do. I have something called the Class Connect sessions for immediate help, because sometimes students need immediate help, like I need to maybe look at their computer or share my desktop, different things like that. And as you might know, the Class Connects, you have to set those up on the hour and the half hour. So what I've created is one that runs all the time. I call it Immediate Class Connect, and it's right here on the left. It's called Immediate Help. So when you click on Immediate Help, then you can click on Immediate Class Connect, and that puts you in there if we've set up ahead of time that I'll be waiting for you. I sort of call that my office or my classroom. So maybe we decided that we're going to meet at 2:15 on Thursday afternoon. So come 2:15, you just go into this Immediate Class Connect, and that puts you in there, and I'll be waiting for you at that time. Now, I'm not in there all the time. That's why we have to set it up ahead of time. So those Immediate Class Connects can be really helpful. And finally, the last two things, I'm on Skype and Live Messenger with the same name, but I think they've kind of merged. I'm going to try to keep one or both of them open whenever I can, so that you can get to me if you have an immediate question that you might need. Teacher contact information, you can see it right here, everything to get a hold of me. Now the rest of this, like course help, academic integrity, these are all parts of K-12 systems. You can read through those. They really don't, they pertain to just courses, online classes in general, rather than this specific class. There's a nice course overview presentation that you work through. That's going to be in week 2. Here's a glossary, so the glossary could certainly help you in this class. What do some of the words mean? Netiquette, learn about netiquette, copyright, etc. So there's just some of the basics of this class over on the left-hand side. So we've covered all those for you. So now we're going to jump right into the first assignment. And the first assignment, if we look here, is the Getting Started Write-Up. So let's go take a look at that. And this is how the Class Connects go each week when I have the Class Connect for the weekly lesson. So you'll go here to the Getting Started Write-Up. And the way to do these write-ups, the Getting Started write-ups or the Class Connect write-ups, is that you copy and paste the stuff into a word processor. So you copy all of this, copy, paste into a word processor, and make sure you have the question numbers on it, because when you turn this in, that's the only way I can give you appropriate feedback. Then you watch the lesson recording and find the answers. I actually tell you the exact answers, so you can't get them wrong. Then you'll write your answers below each item, check your spelling and grammar. So again, these you have pasted into the word processor, so then you'll write your answers below each of the items, write your exact answers. After you have them all done, you check your spelling and your grammar, all that stuff. Then in your word processor, you'll take all of this, not only the questions, the numbers, but also the answers. You'll take all of it, and then you paste it as text in the Dropbox. Do not attach a file. So you'll go up here to the Dropbox, and you'll find the appropriate Dropbox, paste it in there in the text area of the Dropbox, not an attached file, then you submit. And the nice thing about this is all I need to do to grade these is I just go into the Dropbox and I can see the answers immediately. I don't have to open up a file. So that's how the class connects and all the write-ups. That's how all the write-ups are done. And those are the things that are called write-ups, either Class Connect write-up, Getting Started write-up, whatever. Those write-ups are done that way. So let's make sure this is clear. The write-ups are just text in the Dropbox, but the learning plan is an attached file. So that's the difference between those. Now let's go ahead and answer these. So how many points is learning plan worth, and how do you submit it? Well, we just looked at that, didn't we? So learning plan, 50 points, and you submit it as an attached file in the Dropbox. Pretty easy, isn't it? Next, the exact subject line you use in a K-mail to ask me to clarify assignment 3. Well, as we've talked about before, you would put audio engineering in the subject line, and you'd also put please clarify assignment 3 in the subject line. So audio engineering, please clarify assignment 3. That's what you would have in the subject line of this K-mail right there that I'm asking about. What are the weekly live Class Connect sessions for this class? So Class Connect's right there. Mondays, 9 to 10. How are lesson recordings helpful for you? Well, lesson recordings are helpful in two ways. The first way is that they introduce you to the topic for the week, introduce you to the content for the week. So that's the first way. Second way they're helpful is that they give you the exact answers for the write-ups for the week. So that's how lesson recordings are helpful to you. Introduce you to the topic and give you the answers for the write-ups. How can you prepare yourself for quizzes and exams? Well, the main way you can prepare yourself, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to go to section 1. And look at section 1. Do you see where it says quiz 1 right here? Well, check this out. Here's section 1, quiz preview. So here's the quiz preview that can help you. So for every section quiz, I'll have the quiz preview for you. So your answer to this one, to prepare yourself for quizzes and exams, is to look at the quiz and exam preview document. Where can you see the links to all lesson recordings? Well, if we go to the announcements, so right here I'm in the announcements, and here's an announcement called Index of Lesson Recordings. I'll have all of them posted there for you. Where you can see the feedback you get on assignment. Feedback is really important because with the feedback, then you can get an understanding of what I want as a teacher, and then you can revise your work to get a better grade. To do the feedback the easiest way, go to your grade book, click on the grade you earned, and then you'll see the notes that I've given you. Then fix your assignment, turn it back in. Now, I'll take assignments until you get up to 100% if you want, but I will refuse to take assignments in which you make no effort to revise it. I have students do that thinking, oh, I'll just send the same thing in again and he'll raise my grade. No, if you don't make any effort to revise based on what I say, then I'm not going to let you turn it in again. You'll be stuck with a bad grade. So make your revisions so that you'll get a better grade. Where can you find the work to be done each week? Well, if I go to the announcements, and in the announcements is where you find the work to be done each week, right in the announcements. What presentation will help you get better prepared for this class? Well, if you move down here a little bit, here's a presentation called Course Overview Presentation. This is going to be week 2 work. You're going to go through this. So that's Course Overview Presentation. So that presentation is what will help you get better prepared for this course. Then finally, where do you go in the course to get immediate help? Well, you go to the immediate help link to get immediate help. So that's all I have for you. Thanks for watching. Turn in your getting started write-up. Text in the Dropbox just as I said. I look forward to your work. Bye.